going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nick Bartell, editor-in-chief for Techno Warriors TV, and welcome to another awesome author interview. We have someone really amazing on the show for you today, from all the way from the United Kingdom. UFO, alien abduction, or extraterrestrial author Russ Kellett. He has two books to talk about his experiences, what he's seen of the UFO and aliens and all sorts of galactic stuff. So, because we have a lot to talk about in this interview, I'm going to shut my trap, and it's time for the author interview of Russ Kellett. So, without further ado, take it away.
Hi there, Nick. Thanks for having me on your show. And yes, so some years ago, over 20, oh God, it must be about 25 years ago, I set out, I'd been writing some notes and more or less manuscript for a book and a film. And it was originally going to be called Through the Eyes of an Alien, Once a Human. And it didn't work out. Things happened, and I moved away from the area and moved over here, and I met somebody, and my spelling and me writing is not good. And they helped us with this book and, tidying all my, sort of like spelling mistakes and proofreading and everything. And I never thought it had come out, to be quite honest. And anyway, it happened. We sat down. It took a couple of years to put it to put all the mistakes right, and really, if it weren't for Lynn, it wouldn't be around, or the second book either. So anyway, this is the outcome, and it's my story about my abductions over the years. And because I was on a motorbike, and they'd done a story in the paper some years before, and basically give me this nickname of E.T. Rider. So that was my first book, and it's about how I'd been abducted over the years, how many times it had happened, and the aliens that I'd come across, the aliens that abducted me, and the war that's going on around the universe and on this planet now as we speak, with a number of different alien races fighting for whatever it is, fighting for. What is it usually? Sort of like money, power, sex and glory, food and wine, and you name it, And so all the time I'd been looking into, when this happened, I'd been looking into my abduction and trying to figure out what was going on, thinking, am I going crazy here? Because obviously anybody that's gone through this, this is what you think, sort of like you're judging yourself. You're thinking, you're crazy. So I set up a group wanting to find people like myself and finding out people that had actually, witnessed UFOs and sightings of flying saucers, alien space vehicles, craft, whatever, spaceships, And I started researching then. I'd always had an interest from a young age. So as I started researching and I becoming a better researcher over the years, I come across quite a number of stories where people had witnessed flying saucers land and people being abducted and all that sort of thing. So one in particular, as an investigator, I'm looking into other people's abductions, sightings, reports, and people that are talking about seeing things land up close and personal, So I looked at this one case, and this chap had contacted me and were telling me about it. and I went over to a place called Wales and looked into a famous case, actually. It's known as the British Roswell or the Welsh Roswell. And quite an amazing story. And I swapped some information for quite a lot of documentation from a chap years ago, 20 years ago and over, you know. And there was discrepancies in what people were saying because I'd seen it in the newspapers about this actual, the night when this happened, right? Yeah, this incident, you know, and they called it the Berwyn Mountains incident or the Berwyn Mountains crash landing. And when I looked into all what the police had said had happened on that night, I'd actually, like I say, come into a lot of what you would call paperwork from that night, from the incident room when it happened, and from different incident rooms in and around North Wales. So basically, I was going out there and investigating, meeting people that said they'd been there on the night and witnessed this actual happening. And I met 5 gentlemen that came across a landed craft at the side of the road. And this is an actual picture of the area where it happened. And then this has been put in there of the flying saucer and the aliens. And as you can see, they've got belt kits and they seem to have what you would call weapons, sidearms. And these 5 men came across these on the way home one evening. So that's my second book, and it's called Alien Invasion Wales. And that's out on sale as the same as E.T. Rider on Amazon. So I think it's time for a third book.
Yeah, and that's awesome because, ladies and gentlemen, you are hearing it first on Techno Warriors TV. Russ Kellett is coming out with a third book. And what will that book be called?
Oh, probably about all of the different UFO reports and investigations that I've basically done over the years. But then again, there's so much that I've missed out in my first book about my abductions. There's so much about the things that I've videoed, you know, and, you know, sort of like trying to get more information about quite a lot of other things that I've been looking at as well, you know, sort of like. But there's so much. I mean, there is so much. But I think ultimately it'll be about the number of reports that I'd actually, you know, sort of like taken down and you know, sort of like logged and then decided to go and investigate. And when I'd investigated the actual reports, thought to myself, wow, you know, we've got people that are seeing spaceships, people that are drawing images inside the spacecraft, and they don't even say that they've been abducted. And, you know, elderly people. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm thinking, you know, these people have drawn the inside of a craft, but they've never said they've been abducted. And when you ask, you know, well, who drew this? Oh, well, I drew it. Well, you know, where was this? Well, this is what I saw. And where did you see it? Well, there, you know, in this place, you know, where there was sat at this console and there's all these dials and knobs and things. And you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, they haven't realised, you know, that they've actually been taken You know, if they was in the living room watching television, and then the next thing they're in this room and there's dials and there's a chair and there's somebody sat there at side of them, you know, and there's somebody sat in front of them and they're looking over at these dials, it could only mean one thing. But the problem is, as an investigator, you haven't got to put, you know, the frighteners up somebody. If they're, you know, at an age, you know, and they've retired and they're getting on, you know, so you don't want to frighten them, do you? You know?
You don't want to spook them.
No, you don't, no. But this has happened. There were two people on the same night who drew the same thing, more or less. So this is something I'm going to have to go back and, you know, sort of like, I need to put this down in writing, and the drawings show the people the actual drawings. And then somebody was out having a break. They were packing up and what have you from the workplace, and they was outside in the car park, and they thought a lovely hot day, and all of a sudden there's a shadow came over the car park where they was stood. And the chap said, I thought, wow, there's going to be a storm. He thought it was a cloud that came over. He looked up and he could not believe his eyes. And he drew this image of something I have never seen the likes of. It was better than any science fiction craft that you've ever seen in any of these science fiction films, you know, like Star Wars and
Star
what
Trek.
have you. Even better, it was moving, and the other part were turning around, rotating, this gyro at the back, and this other part were turning the other way, and you just looked at it and you know, just amazing. So that's another thing. Then people meeting aliens like myself, you know, sort of like 15-foot aliens, you know, behind this loggers truck. You know, the loggers have trucks and they carry the logs, you know, the trees, you know, chopped down, and they're on the back of these trucks. And this lady was walking with a dog, and the dog started making a noise and looking, and she looked to see what the dog were looking at. And she looked up, and there is this, like, you know, like you've seen like skin divers, frogmen, you know, sort of like you've seen them, haven't you? You know, on television, you know, like the go in water, you know, like sometimes Navy SEALs, etc., and they've got the suits on, and the headgear, and so it's like they look like a frogman or skin diver, they call them. And she looked up, and above the truck, looking down at her, right, was this human-like figure, and it walked behind and came out, and she looked up, and the dog, she pulled the dog and run. She said it was massive. It must have been 15, 20 foot tall. And she says, and she, you know, she drew what it looked like. And she run. Now, I'd been abducted just in an area not more than sort of like 2 miles away, straight across at this place called Druids Altar in Bingley. Now, where she was, when I looked and started investigating, and I'd been at a place where there'd been a green man, little alien scene.
Wow, that's insane.
It's in the papers, it's in the news. It's called the Little Green Man of Ilkley. alien spaceman, alien grey from Ilkley Moor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been over there talking to one or two people, and where this actual person had taken a photograph, of this alien, and originally they'd said that there'd been a flying saucer that landed there as well.
Wow.
Right. So I'd been videoing this area and taking some pictures, and when I was taking pictures at a place called the Cow and Calf Rock, I had this big ball of light turn up. And anyway, so I went back and I was looking at the maps of this area where I'd taken this picture and where this person had seen years ago in the 70s, this green alien, I should say, where this flying saucer had landed, and he'd been walking and taken a photograph. And I looked at the moors across to where this lady had seen this giant, because I called it a giant. I said, it's a giant, is that? Like the ones what I see, what I've met. They're like giants, And when I looked, it says Rumbles Moor. And the next day, I came across something. I was looking for some more maps of that area, and I pulled one out, and it was an old beer map, a Yorkshire beer, and it was their map, sort of like where to drive around, if you know what I mean, which is a bit, you wouldn't be doing that, would you?
No.
But anyway, sort of like, and when I looked at this map, it says the famous Rumbles Moor. And when I looked at it, and it said the story of Rumbles Moor, and it says Rumble was a giant. And I thought to myself, a giant? And it's along this area, right, where this woman, it butts up to the area where she'd seen this giant. I'm seeing these 15-foot creatures where I am, just over the road. So, like, this area seems to be sort of like, awash with giants.
Oh, wow. And so where can people find your books?
Well, both books, again, the one I was just talking about there, do it right. Yeah, so there it is again. It's E.T. Rider, and that's out on Amazon. And that one, Alien Invasion Wales, and that's about this amazing cover-up of what could only be described as an alien invasion, a battle that took place that night.
So it's a very good thing that we have a nice 2 terabyte drive from Sabrent. Big shout out to them. Stay tuned for the review for that. Some of the reviews and unboxings have been delayed just because my busy work schedule with my other job and my health issues have been getting in the way. So, and then I also, I'm also a volcanologist with the United States Geological Survey, which is pretty cool. So stay tuned for more reviews, and because I can tell we're going to have more amazing content for alien abduction interviews, UFO sighting interviews, more amazing authors like Russ Kellett on the show. We're going to have some really cool stuff, and thank goodness we got a big drive. Also, thank goodness I found another drive, which is a 12 terabyte that I'll probably put in the computer. 12 terabytes! We're going to need it. What do you think? Do you think we're going to need that bigger hard drive?
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to need a bigger hard drive. Scene from Jaws? I think we're going to need a bigger drive. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have some chock full stuff of cool stuff coming in the future. Coming very soon, I should say. Get ready because the next interview is the the alien abduction and UFO sightings of Russ Kellett, and also Russ Kellett. This actually may be another video. Was a MUFON investigator. That's right.
No,
Tell.
not me. No,
Oh, it was
no. What it was Kevin, who is a MUFON investigator, as he's actually done a video of me for MUFON.
Oh, okay. So you weren't
Yeah.
MUFON invest. Were you a part of MUFON at all?
No.
Okay.
I've been my own investigator since all this started.
Oh wow. So I can just clip that out.
No problem.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to have famous author Russ Kellett on the show, guys. If you're in the market for a book about aliens, UFO sightings, now is your stuff on Audible or just physical?
No, well, right. You can get it on the book form, or you can get it on Kindle. I think electronic.
Okay, but do you plan to release an audio book version for people who like to listen to audiobooks?
I've never even thought about it.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The two books you saw today could be coming to Audible, and which makes it really easy to listen to books. And Audible's by Amazon, and it's where you can listen to your favorite books just through Amazon. You know, if you have an Amazon Prime, I think it's separate from Amazon Prime, but it allows you to listen to audiobooks. So you could choose.
Who would read it?
Yeah,
Nick. Who would actually read the book? Because I'm terrible at reading. If I were reading out, they'd be falling asleep if I were reading.
Yeah, but I'm sure, and ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of people that do listen to UFO and alien
What
abduction.
star would you like? What star would you like to read my book as part of me? Part of my. Do you know? I think should do it.
What?
Thomas Hardy.
Thomas Hardy should.
Yeah.
Do your voiceover?
He should, yeah. What do you think?
Dude, that'd be super, super lit. I mean, that'd be really, really cool. That'd be
somebody like that, you know,
that'd be super, super
maybe
awesome.
the new James Bond, maybe not but my hero, Thomas Hardy, my hero.
Yeah, wasn't Thomas Hardy James Bond, like the original James Bond?
No, it was supposed to be the new James Bond, but I don't know what's happened, you know. But or even because they've all been saying, you know, like your book should be on the big screen, Russ. So who should play me in the film?
Right, and it should be the new the guy that was going to be James Bond.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I think we should have Thomas Hardy as Russ Kellett, E.T. Rider. Don't you think so?
Dude, that'd be super awesome. That'd be fire. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching this video interview of, thank you guys so much for watching the author video interview of Russ Kellett. Make sure you can find his books at the links in the description in below. We'll also, they'll be in the description, or then you can purchase, and even they'll be in the link cards or in the pop-up thing, so when you click on that, it'll just take you to his website, which is really, really cool, or the Amazon link, and where you can just purchase those or put them on your Kindle. And how much are these books?
I think they're about £14, because they're fairly big books, and as you can see, and they've got pictures in, and there's a lot of photograph there of the famous red telephone box. This is more. There's pictures and of what do you call telexes that have been copied.
Oh, wow, dude, that's gnarly.
You know, like from the police. You know, all the police records, all there, and description of the flying saucer. and the belt kit, what the aliens were wearing, you know, sort of like the piece of metal that was found there.
And then we'll show more of this in the interview coming the abduction and UFO sightings I'd have to say the alien abductions and UFO sightings of Russ Kellett coming very shortly to Techno Warriors TV. If you guys like this interview, all you have to do is strangle that subscribe button, slap that like button in the face, and pow, right in the kisser. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, or you will be abducted by aliens tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and have an awesome day. Okay.